And we're bringing you update to the burn order that was put in place by Governor Ivey. And we're just 2 days out from Thanksgiving. We're on your side with the best times you should travel.
WBRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
Welcome in to First Alert Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. We have a lot for you ahead here as we count down to the big Thanksgiving Day holiday. Quite a complex storm system moving across our area last night. We had tropical storm force wind gust across the area through the early morning, and even for some of us, over 2 inches of rain. Now, I know for every location we didn't see that much rainfall, and this really wasn't going to pull us out of the drought, but there's still a chance we might get a sprinkle tonight. We still have some changes happening, and as we go to First Alert AccuTrack radar, I want to point out, see those arrows that are on the map? That's showing the wind direction. The wind's been out of the west today, but now the northwest wind is starting to take over, and you can feel it out there. That chilly north wind is going to drop the temperature, so we still have some 60s. Places like Birmingham back to Anniston showing 60s. Actually, Tuscaloosa showing 60, but when we get those next updates, you're going to see a lot more 50s there starting to show up on the map. Earlier, we also had a tornado warning, actually a confirmed tornado warning that showed up over Geneva County down into southeast Alabama. Thankfully, that warning expired, but this is the tail end of that system that moved through overnight. Still packing a punch here across South Alabama as that thing's moved on to the east. But what a system. I mean, it stretches from the Gulf of Mexico. Look at this, all the way into New England. So this is having some significant impacts on folks trying to travel here as we get closer to Thanksgiving. It looks like Pennsylvania, they're covered up. But we do have a front. You see it right there, cold front. And that's what's moving through. That's the big setup here that we're talking about on First Alert Weather Extra. This front and then the cooler air that's going to move in behind it. I think tomorrow we're going to have high temperatures. It's going to struggle to break out of the 40s. So overcast, temperatures topping out low 50s, and a chilly north wind. You throw all that in the mixing bowl, that sounds like a holiday kind of day, right? You know you're close to Thanksgiving with that kind of weather. Very chilly conditions. But again, for this evening, we are going to see all this wet weather shifting to the east. Some big impacts around Charlotte. Of course, we always have a lot of connecting flights there in the Charlotte area. And as far as any big winter weather systems, we are tracking a lot of winter weather that's in places like upstate New York, but you can see across New England, that's where we're getting that greatest combination of lift and moisture and the combination of sub-freezing temperatures there well north of us. But for us, it was nice to see some precipitation, at least area-wide. Again, I know it wasn't as much rain as we hoped for in some areas, but these are Weather Watcher reports, and you can see from the rain gauges over an inch of rain places like Graysville, Cordova. Look at Lamar County. Tony McDonald checking in with over 2 inches of rain and over an inch of rain in Trussville from Tyler Young. But there were some locations. This is the radar estimate. You get in eastern Jefferson County. Over into parts of Calhoun County, not quite as much wet weather, but at least we did see rain that wasn't a tenth of an inch for a change across parts of Alabama. But it's getting a lot cooler out there right now. Temperatures on the fall, 53 right now for us in Hamilton. Plan for lows tonight down into the 40s. It is going to be a chilly start tomorrow morning. We have a first alert for much cooler weather. And then as we look ahead to Thanksgiving, we're going to have some showers coming back late on Thursday. And I'll be showing you what some of the model data looks like when we coming up here in just a few moments as we continue here on Weather Extra. But right now, let's check in with meteorologist Lauren Linehan, who is currently in Fultondale. Lauren, could you talk to us a little bit about the recovery process for the city after they were impacted by the January tornado? I know we're getting into that fall severe weather season, and a lot of folks probably seeing you there in the storm tracker tonight, but we want to stress no severe weather tonight.
Right, Wes. The weather is much quieter here this evening in Fultondale. Certainly much quieter than it was almost 3 years ago, January 25th, 2021, when that EF3 tornado struck in the middle of the night. I'm joined now by the chief of the fire department here, Chief Justin McKenzie. Justin, thank you so much for joining us today. And we just want to check in. How are things in Fultondale nearly 3 years later?
Hey, things are great now. That was a devastating night that we had, very unexpected, and it was, like you said, the secondary storm front that we had. It was a marginal risk, but that was a terrible tornado.
And so I've been driving around today with our photographer, and we noticed just driving around, there's still some damage. It looks like there's some abandoned lots here. How are the families doing 3 years later?
So some of them rebuilt. Everything that's within the city worked with the property owners, or if they sold the lots, insurance companies, things like that, got the debris cleaned up. Unfortunately, some of this is in the county, and as the city of Fultondale, we have no control over those properties.
So we have been talking about how this is the beginning of the secondary severe weather season that can happen in the fall, sometimes even in the winter. What would you want to urge the citizens here in Fultondale as we go forward into these months?
Regardless of the time of year, be weather prepared. Always have that secondary means. Do not count on the sirens. Make sure you have your weather apps. Pay attention to NWS, your local news stations. It's very important to have a means and a way of it, and your safe place. Just make sure you have that plan in place.
And I think that was something we saw too with the Fultondale tornado. It happened at night. Can you talk to just being prepared any time of the day?
Yeah, anytime, day or night, you need to make sure that you're ready. Have those weather alert radios at night so it wakes you up and you know what your plan is, because waking up in the middle of the night, not everybody's used to that. So make sure you have that plan in place for your family so you can get to your safe place.
Chief Justin McKenzie, thank you so much for joining us here today in Fultondale. We certainly hope for a quiet season, but it's always good to be prepared and stay alert. As he was mentioning, the chief mentioned that NOAA weather radio and, of course, your First Alert weather app having multiple ways, loud ways to receive warnings at night. But coming up later in the show, we'll talk about why exactly we do see a secondary severe weather season this time of the year. Reporting live in Fultondale, meteorologist Lauren Linehan, WBRC Fox 6 News on your side.
All right, thanks a lot, Lauren. And after last night's rain, it's the first good rainfall some of us have seen in quite a while. In fact, I had to go back and I believe it was early July before I could see a rain total of 2+ inches within 24 hours, as we saw in some areas last night. But it still wasn't enough to handle the situation we're in with respect to the drought. The Alabama Forestry Commission, they're saying that firefighters have battled more than 700 wildfires across the state since October. That's spanning nearly 8,000 acres. But like last night, as rainfall amounts varied across the state, the Forestry Commission lifted the burn ban in 33 counties, adding an additional 23 counties just today. But for Jefferson County and other parts of East Alabama, we are still under the no burn order. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan spoke with our Lauren Harkson about how the recent rain is a step in the right direction, but yeah, we really need to see a lot more.
El Nino winters typically in the south can be cooler, but they can also be wetter. So that's what we're hoping. The fact that we're in an El Nino, yes, we've been in this extreme drought, but we have hope on the horizon because El Nino typically brings in more rainmakers, and that's what we're hoping for in the months ahead.
I still think we can see a few showers late on Thanksgiving, but the next best chance for rain or a system like what we dealt with last night, we're going to have to wait a little while. That's going to happen after the big Thanksgiving holiday. We weren't the only ones to be impacted by heavy rains and winds last night. And I mean, that wind, it sounded like a hurricane here on Red Mountain last night. The winds were so gusty. Take a look at this video out of Mississippi. This was after storms with strong winds were reported yesterday evening. As all that activity moved into Alabama, the storms are blamed for a number of downed trees and power outages across the central portion of the state. And with over 15,000 power outages reported just last night, we had some outages here across parts of Alabama. The storms last night are a reminder of just how important it is to have a safe place to go during bad weather, and of course having redundancy, having a battery backup. If you have a NOAA weather radio, always making sure those batteries are fresh and your weather radio is working properly. And one West Alabama county, they're going to soon be able to add storm shelters to protect its residents. Kelvin Reynolds, he's on your side with more from Hale County.
Congresswoman Terry Sewell secured more than $500,000 to give to the Alabama Emergency Management Agency to give to Hale County to be able to put brand new storm shelters in that community. 3 tornadoes have touched down in that area in the last 3 years, according to Hale County probate judge Arthur Crawford. One of the hardest hit areas in Hale County during that time was Akron. I visited there one morning in November of 2022 after a tornado caused a lot of damage in several neighborhoods in that area. Congresswoman Sewell secured $500,000 to be able to buy 4 brand new storm shelters to be able to offer some safety and security to folks there looking to find shelter from severe weather.
This is big because this is something we've been looking forward to since 2011. And we've been on a crusade to get community storm shelters since then, and so it's finally coming to fruition.
Now, back in 2011, Hale County suffered a lot of tornado damage when a series of tornadoes ripped through the state of Alabama, including passing through Hale County. Now, Hale County officials say those new 4 storm shelters are going to be going in Greensboro, Moundville, Akron, and Sawyerville. Kelvin Reynolds, WBRC, Fox 6 News on your side.
And that's certainly going to help in that region, as we know. Over the past couple of years, that has been one of the more active zones right there, from Utah to Akron over into Hale County. And in 30 seconds, we're on your side with your travel forecast as you prepare to head out. And maybe you're traveling here for this Thanksgiving holiday. We'll see you in 30 seconds. Well, maybe you are traveling or you have some family arriving in town for the big Thanksgiving holiday. Meteorologist Matt Daniel and Mickey Ferguson check in right now to give us an update on some of the travel impacts weather-wise across the country.
Traveling for Thanksgiving, Mickey?
Yeah, well, we're going to Mama Nim's. It's not too far over at Logan Martin Lake in Talladega. So how about you?
Yeah, I'm going to be traveling to see some family going on to Thursday. So we got to look at your travel forecast.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, so if you're on the road tomorrow, you see that blue line there, Mickey? If you look at the grid on the top right, that means good.
All right.
You don't have to worry too much about the weather impacting you. And those rain chances are pretty limited. We'll see some clouds. It's going to be cold, though, so dress appropriately for tomorrow.
Say good like that again.
What's that?
Good.
Good. I don't remember what I did last time. But anyways, looking pretty good there. If you're flying tomorrow morning, here's a look at where we could see some travel delays. If you're seeing the green colors, you're looking good. No issues expected. So
Looking good.
yeah, looking good across the southeast. But if you're going towards the Carolinas, the coastal regions where that cold front impacted us today, they could have some issues, especially up towards the north and east in Maine. There could be some moderate to major delays there. In the Pacific Northwest, we have another system producing some showers up there. And then for Thursday morning, if you just have to travel early Thursday to get to your destination, once again, a good bit of the country looking pretty good, except as you go towards the Rockies.
So you get Rocky Mountain High and you've got a few storms up there. Here's your travel forecast as far as your temperatures are concerned for tomorrow. These are forecast highs. We're in the mid-50s, and the same goes true for up the East Coast. 40s up towards the Ohio Valley, 60s out west. For Las Vegas, Denver, and Seattle's a little bit wet with 49 degrees.
Yeah, and then we look at your Thanksgiving Day, and we added some turkeys to add a little bit of, you know.
Little bling.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
We got an umbrella. We got a turkey with an umbrella down there towards Louisiana.
And up in the Pacific Northwest, we got cold turkey legs. He's shaking up there.
And then towards Chicago, we got a turkey with sunglasses.
I like it. I like it a lot.
It's sunny.
I like turkeys with sunglasses. I've always liked them. All right, so all in all, not too bad.
Not bad at all, and cool. So if you're in the kitchen heating things up, you know, it's kind of nice when it's cool outside. You know, you can go outside and, you know.
I like a little chill to the atmosphere. Maybe if you got to throw a log on the fire or something like that. You know what that is?
What's that?
It's good.
It's good. Have a safe and wonderful Thanksgiving, everybody.
I think Mickey's already thinking about the turkey and is it stuffing or dressing, right? That's always a good social post. Okay, when we return, I'll have the Thanksgiving forecast and we'll talk a little bit more about that chance of rain that I'm seeing for Thursday night. And how about the Iron Bowl? We're going to break down the weekend forecast. I'll see you after the break. Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. Check out this time lapse from Red Mountain in Birmingham. We had some strong wind gusts through the early morning. You can see a lot of clouds out there, and we did catch some breaks during the afternoon. That wind shifted around to the west direction for a good part of the day, and then we had winds tonight. They're starting to become more northwesterly there, as you can see. As we take a look at our live camera, this is downtown Birmingham. That's right there, 2059 through downtown, close to Highway 31 and 65. You can see a live look, a lot of folks on the road, and if you are going to be traveling, well, the good thing is at least heavy rains moved on to the east and the winds have settled a bit, but there's still going to be a northwest breeze out there. Notice how the temperature, it's dropped to 54 here at Vernon. A big drop, winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour through tonight. Still seeing some 60s around Talladega, Anniston, Lincoln, and Pell City. Columbiana here in Shelby County still showing 60. Actually, Tuscaloosa and areas further south, but that cooler air is going to take over. We'll have lows tonight tumbling down into the 40s. I still see a lot of clouds, some of these clouds overrunning the cooler air as it drops in, so it's going to stay mostly cloudy tonight and actually through most of the day tomorrow. May get a sprinkle or two. The models have been showing that possibility. That's why we have a 20% chance in there. Certainly nothing like what happened last night. I expect very isolated shower. And again, 40s tonight. And once the temperatures tumble and the clouds settle in again, and we have a persistent north wind tomorrow. That's going to make for a cold day. It's going to be chilly out there. It's time to break out the it's sweater weather, jacket weather, certainly feeling like the holidays across Alabama starting tomorrow. And Thanksgiving is going to be dry during the day, but we see showers that will come back for Thursday night. I'm still seeing that in the data. It looks like light rain. It's not heavy rain. But it will move out in time for the Iron Bowl. If you are traveling down to Auburn on Saturday, we'll have dry weather coming back with highs in the 60s there at Auburn. But even here at home, if you have a watch party planned on Saturday, we'll have sunshine coming back with temperatures topping out around 61. But again, the next chance of rain, next big thing for us is that first alert for some showers Thursday night and Friday morning. Again, it's scattered showers, but could be enough to wet some of the roadways. If you're out early Friday, maybe doing a little holiday shopping, you can see there a 30% chance for rain this weekend. Highs in the 60s. Again, Iron Bowl Saturday, dry across the state. Sunday, we got some clouds coming back. And Sunday night and into early Monday, I'm now seeing a cold front moving through. As we get a little bit closer to early next week, it wouldn't surprise me if we do see better rain chances with this. I think we could see a few scattered showers there, highs in the 50s with overnight lows down into the 40s there. And Thursday morning, we're going down to 36. Next Tuesday morning, down to 34 degrees. So a couple of mornings there where we might start to see a little bit of frost in parts of the area. So again, early on Thanksgiving, could see some frost to the north and then into early next week. But let's check out the First Alert weather calendar as we go beyond the 7-day forecast. And just to show you in the long range what we're watching here, we always like to share some of the systems that just kind of catch our attention in the global data. Keep in mind, a lot can change once you go beyond 7 days, so check in for updates. But there's a chance, again, late Thursday into Friday, I'm confident we'll see a few showers there. Weekend, again, looks dry. Monday morning, again, a chance for a shower. I've got that day highlighted. And then colder weather comes back for early next Tuesday morning. And then next Thursday and Friday, you get out around 11:30, the 1st of December. It looks like another system is out there showing up in some of the data that may bring us a chance for showers. And then after that, looks like going into the weekend there, 12/2. Looks like dry for that Saturday at this point. But again, there's a system there that needs to be monitored. We'll fine-tune the timing on that. Not seeing severe weather with that system, by the way, at this time, but it is something we'll keep a watch on. But speaking of severe weather, last night was just a reminder that it's here. It's that time of the year when we can have active weather. In fact, you know, we often talk about the fall severe weather season, but starting now and continuing through the winter, we can have severe weather. Just remember last year when we had in January the Selma tornado, and we've been talking with meteorologist Lauren Linehan, who's been the storm tracker and visiting Fultondale, an area that was certainly hard hit in the month of January. And it's just, you don't really think about the cool season, Lauren, as being a time. You always think about spring when it comes to severe weather, but this is a time of year when we certainly need to be weather ready.
Yeah, Wes, you don't want to totally discount that here in Alabama, you can see tornadoes any time of the year. Now, we're talking about that secondary severe weather season, but hey, during hurricane season, you can get tropical tornadoes that come in on that northeast quadrant of the storm that you see on the east side of systems, those little brief spin ups. You can get that any time of the year. That can be the summer or early fall, but that secondary severe weather season here in Alabama typically runs from November to December, but we can't count out January and February, especially here in Fultondale almost 3 years ago when that EF3 tornado struck at about 10:30 at night here and was only on the ground for 15 minutes, but killed one teenager and injured over 30 people. And we can still see it in Fultondale even tonight. There is still damage. There are still homes that are no longer on their slabs in the wake of that one system. And that was January. You think in January, well, it'd be too cold to have severe weather. But the reason we have a secondary severe season is because of the jet stream. Sometimes you can get these dips in the jet stream as we're beginning to change seasons, like in the fall or the winter. And those dips, those troughs that can set up within the jet stream can cause these cold air outbreaks. But Where are we? We're in Alabama. We're smack dab next to the Gulf of Mexico. So you get this battleground between warm, humid air and that cold, dry air. And that battleground, those temperature differences, they cause issues in the atmosphere that can cause what we know as severe weather. And so especially what we can see sometimes in the fall and winter months, you get the type of setups where, okay, you may not have a lot of energy in the atmosphere since it is a cooler time of the year, but you can get a lot of wind shear. That's that change in wind speed or direction with height. And so that's kind of a setup that we saw last night. One reason we didn't see any severe storms manifest, there wasn't any energy in the atmosphere. There wasn't that storm fuel, but there was plenty of wind shear. But sometimes you can get that, and that's what we're going to be watching for in the months ahead. But we'll be keeping you updated, as always, here on First Alert Weather Extra. In the meantime, live in Fultondale, meteorologist Lauren Linehan, WBRC Fox 6 News, on your side.
All right, thanks a lot, Lauren. And we're going to continue to visit communities out there. Certainly have been in a lot of areas. We were talking earlier about Greene and Hale County, one of those zones as well, where we've had a lot of active weather the past couple of seasons. But coming back, we'll wrap things up. Plus, we'll let you know what's on the way for First at 9. Stay with us.